Hello and welcome back to my channel. It's good to have you here again. All right, let's get into it. Pardon me, you might think this is weird, but it is not. Just stay with me. So I will be making a circle shape cookie. So I'm using I made an outline with a cardstock. You can use a cardstock, but I'm using a cereal box. So I got this tape. Watch the video, you understand what I'm explaining. Just hang on with me, please. So I'm flattening this part so to get a smooth surface. So, and I'll peel the side to make a big tape. There were two pieces of tape that I used, but I laid them over each other. Then I will be folding the end of the tape and I fold it to the back. Our main concern is just this front part. You can see that I'm trying to smoothen that rough edge, but we need it as smooth as possible. Then you cut the edge of the tape. So I'm just using the scissors to cut it. Please bear with me. You understand what I'm going to use this part for. I'm just trimming this part out. So after this, we are going to move on to the cookie of the day. So we're not using the back, we're just focusing on the front of this piece of cardstock, whatever. So this is a white flood consistency, and I am going to outline with this consistency and flood with the same consistency as well. I'm going as slow as possible so it's not too fast and you get to understand what I'm doing. Then I'm filling it up. So whatever consistency you're using, more like the flood consistency. My flood consistency is a bit on the thicker side. I like to work with a thick consistency. I think I've said this in my previous videos. And next is going to be a wet on wet technique. So I will be using a light yellow flood consistency as well. I'm going to put that on top of this cookie, which you will see shortly. I'm just trying to pop any air bubbles or fill out any space. So this is the flood consistency yellow. This is a very light yellow. I made a circle first, then I started filling it in. Still on the thicker side, so I would be using my scribe tool. You can use your toothpick to settle it into place, but I'm using my scribe tool. We're gonna let this dry for in front of a fan over 24 hours, but luckily I have a dried cookie. So this is another way you can still do this. This is a very simpler way. So I took my edible yellow marker. So it has two pointy parts. That's the fine tip part, and that other part is the other end is a bit thicker. So I would be using the thicker part, making a circle just like what I did with the flood consistency, and just painting it. So it takes you back to your kindergarten days. You just paint it and paint away. So this is an easier, faster method. Just flood your cookie and just go to town with your markers. So after that, I would take my black marker and use the fine tip point to just make just like lines, but they're not dots, but they're not joint lines, just like in the video. I make that round. So the next part of this cookie is where I would show you what I was using the cardstock for. I'm going to explain in details what I'm using that for. So this is a portion that would help me know, okay, this is what I'm writing. I'm writing the words "You rock." This is an inspiration cookie which you can add to a gift box. I think that was what I was explaining there. So you can write whatever you want to write. So I was saying you were going to pipe the wordings on this cardstock here with this circle shape. You can also practice on your table, but I want to use the cardstock to have the width of the cookie so I don't overrun on the cookie size. I hope that makes sense. So that is why, as a beginner, if you don't know how to pipe, so there's a limit to where you can pipe on. So with this, it gives you a practice guide so you don't overwrite on the cookie, and how to place your writing or your piping on the cookie. I hope that makes sense. I hope I'm explaining it in a way that you would understand. But if you don't, just leave whatever question you want to ask in the comment section and I will do well to answer. You can as well use your markers to write on it as well, but I like the piping consistency on a cookie. So this is where I'm starting to write you rock. If I feel, oh, this way is not going to fit the cookie, I have to change the dimension of the way I will be piping the words on my cookie. So this, I wasn't able to put the exclamation mark, so I would rub it off. So it's like a practice cookie, if I want to call it that. Do you understand what I'm trying to do? So I'm going to try again and say, okay, how am I going to place my words on the cookie? So if you're having a pointy, you have to always lift your icing up, then drop it down when you're coming to the end of the cookie. Right now I'm pointing it, make it point down and lift up the icing and drop it down. So I'm going with this technique. Let's see if I'm able to squeeze in the exclamation mark on this cookie. If it's your first time, you have to constantly try this so you get it. So by the time you're piping on your cookie, it's going to be easier because you know the technique you were using. So I'm able to fix my exclamation mark on that. So this is what I'm going to be, that's a guide for me on how I'm going to place that on my cookie. I hope I explained it very well. I hope I did. So here we go. Even though it's not exactly the same, but it's not going to be like 50% off. It's going to be maybe 90% exactly the same. But at least you know how to place your words or your writing. Get my point? Okay. So that is what I'm doing. Just keep watching the video. It is self-explanatory. So make sure you're going to point down and lift, point and lift, drop down, point, join and drop down. And that's my exclamation mark. Awesome. That was easy. So I'm filling out any space in my yellow. So I added some pop of colors. You can see the other one I did. So that wasn't even dried. So I'm using orange. You can use whatever colors you want to use. I'm using orange. I wanted this cookie to really pop. Imagine putting this piece, if it could be 1, 2 or 3 in a gift box to somebody. Mother's Day is coming right around the corner. You can use that for Mother's Day. You can use that for, use this for a birthday, whatever word you want to put on it, and whatever gift you're gonna curate for that special person, and add a touch of this kind of cookie. It's gonna go a long way. They would really appreciate it because it was thoughtful and you took your time. My pink marker was misbehaving, so I had to pick the cookie up and really go to town with that. I think I left the marker out in the open for too long and it got dried. But anyway, so this is it. So the same thing I did with the black marker, the fine tip pointy part. I just made some lines around it, and I think that was all I did. I did that for the orange as well, and I did some finishing touches here and there, and that is it. Very easy. When you keep practicing, you take your gift to the next level. When you're gifting someone special, someone, you take it to the next level because there's a personal touch to it. So, and that's it. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, share my videos. These are a huge way that you support my channel, and then I'll see you on our next project. Do take care of yourself. See you later. Bye.